The new movement is complicated, but just like when mantling and tactical sprint were added, you're going to have to learn to use it sooner or later. Learning the new movement allows you to get better piece control, take height, and even crank 90s much faster than before. And if you instead try to just ignore it like nothing changed, then you'll just keep messing up your side jumps since you don't know how the ledge jump works. So to start, let's look at what was added. There were 4 new movements added at the start of the chapter: ledge jump, roll landing, wall kick, and wall climb. Ledge jump uses a burst of stamina to give you a boosted jump that goes both further and higher than normal. High enough, in fact, that you can place a floor under yourself to get up a full layer with one jump. There's no separate keybind for this. Ledge jumps automatically happen when the game detects you jumping off what it thinks is a ledge, and it uses ledge very liberally. This is a ledge. This is a ledge. Even this counts as a ledge. Pretty much anywhere the angle of decline increases is considered a ledge, but this is not considered a ledge. It doesn't care how far down you're gonna fall when considering what's a ledge. So even though you'll fall much further jumping down some backwards ramps, those are not considered ledges because the angle of decline doesn't change. But you do have to be pretty close to the ledge for the ledge jump to activate. If you jump too early, it won't count. You have to be right on the edge. Like when it comes to side jumps, the reason you sometimes ledge jump and sometimes don't is based on how close you are to the edge when you jump. Most of the time, it'll ledge jump unless you intentionally jump earlier so that you prevent it. The easiest way to make sure you don't accidentally ledge jump when you don't want to is to wait to sprint. Ledge jump will only activate after you've been sprinting for long enough, so if you wait until right before the jump to press sprint, then you'll still get the higher jump from sprinting without it ledge jumping. However, you should actually be trying the ledge jump as much as possible when doing side jumps, for one reason only. Not because of the height increase, but because ledge jumps can animation cancel pulling out your shotgun. Normally when you sprint jump, you have to wait for your shotgun to pull back out before you can shoot. But if you take out your gun before you ledge jump, then releasing the sprint key instantly allows you to shoot, no pullout delay. So every time you do this on a side jump, you can take a shot at your opponent before you build the walls and catch yourself. But there are a ton of other applications for this. Being able to cancel your pullout animation is insanely powerful. Like when you get double edits on someone, they'll usually be holding their gun out waiting to take a shot at you, and it's a hard angle to get right without taking any return damage. But instead, you can now just edit, shoot, and reset before they can even react, since you can negate your pullout timer entirely. The only way they'll be able to hit you is if they perfectly time a pre-fire. You can even use this when taking someone's wall. If there's a cone in your box and no floor above you, you can ledge jump off the cone as you make a wide edit, instantly shoot and reset without any pullout delay. It's not easy to do, but if you get consistent at it, it's really powerful. And all of this tech is just from one of the 4 new movement mechanics. Next up is wall scramble or wall climb. When you jump in the air with momentum and are facing a wall you're next to, you can press jump again to run up the wall for a bit. It runs up the exact same distance every time. It doesn't matter if you short press or long press jump, it'll do the entire animation unless you cancel it by either pressing jump again or by placing a build or editing. Just like with mantling, you can't shoot while wall climbing, but unlike mantling, you can build and edit, automatically canceling the wall climb, which is great. That way you don't have to worry about getting locked into an animation and dying because of it. You can also move left and right quite a bit during the wall climb, but the direction you climb isn't determined by which button you're holding, but just the momentum your character already has. So if I jump straight up and then start holding right just before starting the wall climb, I won't move to the right much at all. But if I have momentum towards the right and then try to swap directions before wall climbing, I'll just keep going in the direction my momentum was already in. Either way, after you wall climb, your character goes into a kind of waiting animation. That's because after your wall climb, you're allowed another jump. You can either jump up, go to the sides, or jump back. To go left or right, just hold that direction and press jump. But to go up, you don't look up like you would think. You have to be looking at the wall and holding forward when you jump in order to jump up. If you look up or down or somewhere else, or even aren't holding forward, it'll default to just jumping backwards off the wall instead. And more often than not, you'll be trying to use that second jump to go upwards, not to the sides or backwards. The most annoying thing that you'll run into using wall climb is that it's always trying to make you mantle at the end of it. Normally when you get near a mantle point, you have to press jump again to initiate the mantle, unless of course you change that option in your settings. But if you're climbing a wall and get close enough to a mantle point, it'll automatically mantle even if you aren't holding jump as long as you're holding forward. And this is regardless of which options you choose in your settings. But in order to do the jump at the end of the climb, you have to be holding forward and press jump. So then how do you jump at the end of the climb instead of mantling? You have to hold either left or right at the same time as forward. Or if you have analog movement, the angle just has to be more than 38 degrees and less than 67. If it's less than 38 degrees, it'll make you mantle, and if it's more than 67, it'll make you do the side dash instead of jumping up. Hey, editing Sly here. So in the last patch, they actually secretly changed how this works. It no longer cares what direction you're pressing, it only cares what direction you're looking. If you're looking at the wall, it will make you mantle no matter what. So now if you want to jump at the end of the climb, you have to look to the side and hold towards the wall when you jump, but everything else is the same. Now back to the video. The alternative to a wall climb is the wall kick. If you're in the air next to the wall and you look to the side instead of looking directly at the wall, or you hold away from the wall, you'll kick off of it instead of trying to climb it. But unlike wall climb, wall kick doesn't put away your weapon, so you can still shoot, build, and edit however you want. The wall kick, while not costing any stamina, does pause your stamina from regenerating. On the other hand, wall climb ignores your stamina completely. It can still regen while you're wall climbing. But the best part comes from combining both wall kicks and the wall climb. Normally, it only lets you wall kick 3 times in a row before hitting the ground, but the wall climb partially refreshes the wall kick, so it gives you 2 more. So you can wall kick 3 times, then wall climb, and then wall kick 2 more times. Or you can wall kick twice, then wall climb, and then wall kick 3 more times. Either combo will give you enough height to get all the way up to 5 tiles off the ground. The last new movement mechanic is roll landing. It's pretty simple actually compared to the others. When falling from either a ledge jump or more than 1 tile high, you can press jump right before you land to do a roll. This one's kinda useless compared to the others, to be honest. I mean, it gives you a bit of stamina back and it makes your hitbox smaller for a bit, but that's about it. You can't even change directions with it. Rather than rolling in the direction that you're trying to go in, it always rolls in the direction that your momentum is in. And it even puts your gun away, unlike sliding where you can at least still shoot. So I see very few scenarios where roll landing is actually that useful. But with the other 3, there's a ton you can do with them, like negating fall damage. In previous seasons, there would be no way to drop down from here without building or items of some sort. But now you can space out all of your aerial movement to keep resetting momentum on your way down to prevent fall damage. But you can't use wall kicks or wall climb if you have too much downward momentum, so you have to space them all out properly. It won't lock you out of doing wall kicks until you have enough momentum to take fall damage, which is falling from anything more than 3 tiles high. So you want to wall kick just before falling down 3 tiles, then wall kick again, but instead of going for a 3rd wall kick, instead go for the wall climb. This is because it'll lock you out of wall climb as soon as you have pretty much any downward momentum. And if you did a 3rd wall kick, you wouldn't be close enough to the other wall to wall climb it until you already had too much momentum. So kick, then climb, and then immediately cancel it. Then fall and kick 3 more times. That's just about the best you can do to slow your descent. This movement also changes what's the fastest way to take height. For the longest time, 90s had always been the fastest, as on each layer you can use the floor and stair to push yourself up and gain more elevation that way. Then when tactical sprint was added, sprint 90s became the fastest. But there's a new king in town, multiple new kings actually. The technically new fastest way to gain height is to just use the wall climb mechanic. If you're against the wall and press jump 3 times in a row, it'll jump, start the wall climb, and instantly jump again, essentially making a high jump. Then when you're in the air, place a high wall and then a floor to catch yourself, and then repeat. And then if you want to be more connected, you can just place a stair before you place the floor, and then you pretty much have the same build arrangement as 90s, but without the turning. So I guess they would be called zeros? Whatever they're called, the best part about them is that they're really simple compared to the later techniques in this video. The only problem is that the only way to press jump 3 times in a row fast enough to do the high jump is by having scroll wheel jump. Even trying double or triple jump binds, I wasn't able to do it consistently. I mean, I could do it, but much slower than using scroll wheel jump. And scroll wheel is already being used for reset and pickup. Plus, not everyone has a scroll wheel. It's debatable whether or not it's even worth it to give up something like scroll wheel pickup just for this, especially when there are other options that are almost as fast. For example, this ledge jump wall climb combo. You ledge jump off a cone, then place high walls before wall climbing as high as possible, and jumping again before placing a stair and floor to catch yourself. The benefit of these is that you never have to look away from the opponent you're building towards. You're always protected from that direction, and because this one uses ledge jump, you can take a shot at the opponent each time you do it. But there are 2 big downsides. First, you can't do it if you don't have stamina. The second is you're only held up by 1 wall unless you do one of the 2 more connected versions. So when comparing the 2 different ways of making this more connected, you'll likely find one of them easier than the other depending on your input method and the settings you play with. For the first one, after you start sprinting, hold this backwards cone edit until after you do the ledge jump off the cone. Then release the edit and turn around to place a wall before doing your wall climb. Then complete the rest normally, and there will be 2 layers of builds that they have to chop to break you out. But if you have trouble holding this edit or turning around quickly, you can connect it the second way. For this one, after you start sprinting, start to edit the cone into a normal stair, but hold it and only release it after you ledge jump off the cone. Then rotate your stair twice to place a backwards ramp before wall climbing. Then during the wall climb, rotate the stair back so that you can finish the rest normally. I feel like the first one is easier, but the second one allows you to never have to take your eyes off the opponent. Neither of them are particularly easy, but with practice they're doable. With this, you can take height faster than you could with sprint 90s while having the same number of layers holding you up and giving you more opportunities to shoot your opponents. But doing zeros is even faster than the ledge jump combo, plus you can do them infinitely. You can't ledge jump more than 4 times in a row, but you can do the zeros without stamina. Even if you have no stamina and are fully jump fatigued, zeros work the exact same. I'm still coming up with other new techniques, but these techniques are some of the first things you'll want to learn with a new movement. The more you use the new movements, the more you'll start to understand them and be able to use them on the fly in fights and in-games. The best way to practice new movements like this is to do it in slow motion first, and then slowly increase the speed until you have it down at normal speed or even faster. To practice at different game speeds, you can use my new free build map. It also allows you to practice with or without jump fatigue, infinite energy, etc. The code will be in the description, but the easiest way to find it is to just search for SlyJack in-game. I'll also be adding more features to the map later, like moving targets and 1v1s, but I didn't want to make you all wait to start practicing with it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to use my code SlyJack in the item shop. It helps more than you would think.